Mr. General Evaluator and Sapna Interpreter. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sapna, the speech you delivered was simple, smooth and effective. The empathy between your speech content and visual aid was well received. So, it was a very good speech. Can you have a thunderous round of applause for one I have divided my speech into 3 parts. How much you justified Project 8, how much you incorporated objectives from projects till P7 and the points where you can improve. As far as visual aid is concerned, the one thing which is very important is how much appropriate that visual aid to the context of the speech. And I would say it was very much appropriate. It was very much apposite to the speech. The font part, the pictures you presented, the lines you wrote, everything was well in sync with your speech. So the job, good done. The second part, the slides were well designed. There were not much clutter in the slides. It was very simple and very much visual. I would say that the people from the back could see that slides very clearly. The third point was, and which is also very important, is whether the slides are the main speech or it's just a supporting material. And it was not the main speech. That is good job. Because the whole speech should not be on slide, but it just add to the masses. And yes, it was very much in support to the speech. Now coming to the project objectives from other speeches till P7. The opening was wonderful. You created the background and from then you moved to the speech where you gave the 5 points like forget the deadline, stay single, travel as much as possible and all those points. So body was very well. Opening to body. Now conclusion part I will talk later. The general purpose and specific purpose was also very much clear. When you try to inspire us how simply you used to take the life. And it was well perceived. The body language and vocal writing very much in sync with each other. All the emotions you exuded was well in sync. Whether it was big house, one point to other, and whether it was happiness, whether it was sadness, enthusiasm, everything came very well. And stage cover was also appropriate. Having said that, in my capacity as an evaluator, if I would have to suggest something, first thing is, Project 8 says that we must use 2 visual aids. One you used, second you forgot, but I would suggest where you would have used. Second thing is, put all the people out there. When you are giving any presentation, as per my experiences in marketing team, we give lots of presentations, and whenever you are moving on the stage and obstructing that light, please don't do that because it is distracting. There is a button in computer called B button. If you press that, that focus goes blank. Once that is presented, please put blank button and move on the stage. It will not distract others. The third thing was conclusion. You concluded the speech in bit hurry. What you would have done is you would have taken a minute, right? You would have wrote all those points. You would have learned to write that. But the time was not sufficient to write those points. You would have used a flip chart, you would have written that. So that was one of the points where you would have improved. But overall, it was a lucid speech where I can connect and learn a lot. So thank you so much for this simple and very well rehearsed and very well presented speech. All the best for your visa. Over to Mr. Jha.
I think the evaluator has done an exhaustive job. And your slide 5, it had the audience splitting laughter. So whenever a speaker, Mr. Evaluator, whenever a speaker gets a lot of response,